from MSD's perspective, they've kind of backed on green infrastructure in recent years, and so the consultant's view was maybe a little too optimistic about the benefits of green infrastructure. But I think we're, by and large, this is probably very close to what could be reality.
So,
Yes?
go ahead.
Oh, no, I just want to make sure I can ask a question. So it looks like those are the improvements. Didn't MMSD have an issue with outfall from Milwaukee River?
Not necessarily. Well, they don't. MMSD doesn't really have jurisdiction over
Was it, I don't
the
know which
river.
agency it was.
The regulating agency will be DNR,
Okay.
Department of Jurisdiction.
And didn't they have a concern with all
Yeah.
of this flowing over the streets into the Milwaukee River? And have we resolved?
So that was no,
Been talking about
but that was what Joe described about the
first flood.
First
The
question.
first flush. So that's essentially our current strategy as a response. So that's our opening.
Okay. And then just my last question, the overhead pipes in selected basements, I assume you need the residents' consent. And
Yeah.
what does that mean? Because I can imagine that some don't want all that construction going on and they're gonna deny it, so
Right.
what is it?
Correct. That's what that can happen.
Yeah.
That can
I'm saying
happen.
it would impact our whole system if enough of them said no.
So the selected basements were just the improvement slides where there's just a little bit of red left. That was the suggested areas to have a program with the residents there. And it's not gonna, the only thing it would impact is their basement protection, their own personal basement protection. It has nothing to do with the ability of the system.
Yeah, I think that we probably have a big old conversation about that when that time comes. Just 8 months ago, this conversation happened on Whitefish Bay, and it was going great until somebody said, no, we're not going to do that. And then it was off. I mean, it's like that. In fact, it's no different than PPII, right? PPII, we asked the resident, do you really want this? It's free, do you want it? And, believe it or not, we don't get 100%.
But that's just so I'm clear.
And they don't even
That
have
would
to
be
touch
the
it.
only option. It's
Right.
not like, oh, you can do this or this. It's either you are or nothing.
Okay.
Can you go to the slide that looks just like the left-hand portion of that picture there, so I can see it bigger?
Can I go to mine?
Can you go to the slide up there that looks like the left-hand portion of that?
Can we finish?
Can I go to my slide?
You
Yes.
certainly can.
Okay, so, regulatory framework, right? DNR is gonna say, what are you doing? Private residents are gonna say, I don't know. But, right? It's clear now that we have to have something to walk here somehow, at some point. I think these gentlemen have told us that. Now, one wrinkle in this whole thing is the order in which things happen, right? Because remember when CDM Smith did their report, certainly when Rupert Milky did theirs in 2011-ish, and even in 2015, when Baxter Woodman was contracted, there was no such thing as MMSD doing anything whatsoever for us. Everyone said, oh, they're not. So now, we have something. It's currently in MMSD's planning budget. The internal memoranda required to move from planning to engineering is being reviewed. When it's reviewed, commented on, revised, go back, maybe one more time, right? The schedule, there's this giant schedule of things at MSD, says RFPs for engineering and design in October this year. That's what I'm hearing anyway. Okay? So, there's a way that it's a likely way that the MMSD sewer, which goes about the end of the parking lot at River Park, just to the end of it, close to where the cage used to be, somewhere there, and starting at Maryland. Okay, this thing looks like it's real, which means the minute it's in and operational, it starts working for us. It does something for us because it literally doubles our capacity, right? So there are some versions of match model, other models that show that thing goes in, you get something out of it. In other words, protection, which is a great thing. Incidentally, this pipe, by the time it gets to about Kramer, it's like 30 feet below ground. So it's under everything. It has to be there because Milwaukee has to be served. We have to be served. As you know, the blank under this slide, that's Milwaukee. That's, you know, that's the gray thing is Downer Woods. This thing. This is Downer Woods. And this entire area over here is served by this pipe. In fact, it has to be that way, right? Because MMSD will not own and operate something that serves one community. This serves all communities. Okay? So that's how it's built.
So it's the most expensive thing here, that yellow pipe?
This one is the outfall, yes.
Because that's, you're tunneling for that. It's open trench to the east, but
These
tunnel
are,
to the west.
right, and this is a tunnel too.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
It is. So, which means, so let me sort of bring it together. We're trying to figure out what we can do immediately following this thing. Which pieces of either storm sewers or combined sewers need to be built so that you fully take advantage of this at a fraction of the cost as this guy. Right? Because here's the thing. If I need to build all of this for $19 million and get something out of it, but build this stuff, so remnants of it, so, you know, extremities of it, and connect it to the MSD thing for a third of that cost and get 80% of the benefit, why wouldn't I do it? So that's the current sort of question. You really have an answer yet, but this is what I'm working on.
So the memo was a little confusing for me in the fact that
That's
okay.
I can't make it
I know,
English.
no, I just wanted to know, what is the cost difference here? It looks like the MMSD picked up a $6.5 million cost, but it doesn't look like we saved anything, so.
Well, it doesn't because that work hasn't been done. I have no way of
I understand.
answering that question today.
That's okay. What do you foresee maybe as some of the savings it could bring us? Like, I just need an idea of, I mean, it sounds great, MMSD's doing something for us, but then when I look at this, it gives me no indication that that would save us any money. Is there?
So that will be the subject of this conversation next time. I don't have that yet.
Not even an idea of what could potentially be a savings?
I do, but I'm not going to say no.
Do we still need the river, even with MMSD's new sewer, we still need the river outfall?
I'm going to say yes.
What is that? Is that a yes or is that?
So what's going to happen, what's going to really happen is that there's going to be, say, okay, I'm gonna, so they're gonna spend their $7.5 million, whatever it's gonna cost them to build, right? It's a ton. And then we have the option of spending some real money, say, middle single digits of millions. 6-ish, 5, 6, 7, mid, right? To build a system that connects to it and leverages it. Okay? That will take you to say, you know, remember how we said 3 inches of protection? Right. So it's gonna take you to, in the vicinity of 2.4, 2.5, 2.6-ish.
Is that the phase 1 improvement combined sewer improvements that we're talking about? And
Right.
listed here is about 5.3, but
That's
maybe,
right. Something.
okay, all right.
Okay, range. Which means, right, the next half an inch of protection, you're gonna have a choice to make.
Option.
You're gonna have a very difficult choice to make.
Yeah. We either let it go.
I'm gonna be very honest with you, because I'm gonna come here, if I'm lucky enough to still serve you in 3 years, 4 years, right? I'm gonna come and say, remember how you spent $6 million and you gave these people something you promised, right? Almost, but it's gonna be much better than today, I can guarantee you that.
But you keep
Now,
flip it. But we don't have the option to spend the
16.
16
Yeah.
and then maybe potentially solve it. You'd
You
still
can.
do it. Okay, and so if we're going into budget next year, just, I don't want to put you on the spot, but just, it sounds like all we know that we're gonna have to do is this 5 to $7 million in upcoming planning, and then we have a choice of the big dollars
Yes.
for that extra, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, the other silver lining in all of this, look, if the district says October RFP, right, it's not. So if it's designed in 2018, it's built in 19. That means you have until October of 18 for the 19 budget, right? If it's really going, right, and you want to do improvements to extend it, leverage it, connect to it, blah, 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 then you make that decision in the 18 budget cycle, not this year. So you wait this out, they go ahead, hopefully they go ahead, and then you have some real budgeting to do, and then you can kick this guy to your long range.
We do long-range financial planning every year.
Every
That's
year,
first,
but-
so, just so we have a roundabout idea of what is coming.
But what it's gonna look like, somebody here is gonna say, what is this 20 million buying? Now that you brought us to, you know, can you get me something else for, right? So that's gonna be, so you're gonna spend 5 million to get people 5 times better, and then 4 times that to get them just a smidge. But that's not for today. Also, I'm working on that.
Okay. Just gives me an idea.
So, this is, how about this? I don't know if this was gonna work. This was, all right, big money by Shorewood with no immediate relief, right? Because it has to be built. That's what I mean. You do the big outfall and then, you know, as they said, the yellow thing going up and then the other things, and that's 20 million, you know, that's years of work, right? Okay. Second one, that used to say big money by MMSD, but we took it out. So that's like day one stuff. And then, in the grand scheme of things, right, it's very similar to what we spent on the west side, right? You know, it's not like, so this is our way of Englishing, creating an English version of this. That's it. That's all I have.
If we had to do all 3 of the things still, including that big then we're actually, it's actually a bigger project than we expected if you added in the 6.5 from the.
Yeah, but we wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
We would shape it so that one way or the other, it's orderly.
President, can I add a couple quick comments?
Sure.
If I could add just a couple quick comments, having spent many years working with combined sewer systems, trying to build relief sewers and other mechanisms to make it work. This is an incremental process. You cannot separate a combined sewer system. It would cost way more, tens and hundreds of millions of dollars you couldn't possibly raise in a jurisdiction of this size, number one. Number two, if you did it and you spent all that money, you would throw yourself into a whole different regulatory environment because you would then have a separate storm sewer system which throws you into the I&I compliance standards that we talked about earlier this evening. What we've done with these things in the past is we've built